This video is for the gentleman that I purchased this fuel injector tester from. Just thought I would detail some of the issues that I found. I already told you about the pump drive board issue I had to repair in order to even get this machine to run. Another problem that I have is what I have to do right here. See that fuel injector I have there? I had to put that one and that one in there because I don't have the plugs that plug off the unused holes. So either I have to test 6 fuel injectors, or I have to put 2 dummy injectors in there, basically blank injectors, to plug up the holes. This unit, if you look at the picture on your own listing, it will show there's a right on that flat portion right here, you will see the various different accessories laying here, and up towards the front are those plugs. I did not receive those plugs. I did receive these adapters, and I received a slightly different fuel injector adapter and some cables, and then also some of these, I don't know what these are supposed to be for, these little flat plates. They must be some sort of other adapter, maybe for fuel injectors. But I did not receive the actual plugs that plug the actual fuel injector bar. So that's an issue. Then also the cable I was speaking of is this cable right here. The cable that powers up the fuel injectors. There's actually one of these that's somewhat intermittent. It doesn't always make good contact. Now let me start the pump up here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I start a cycle, this pressure will drop way down. See how that drops way down? I really shouldn't do that. If this was designed correctly, that pressure should stay steady. Now what I can do on this particular cycle here, since it's a steady state, I can adjust for the pressure that I want and it'll hold steady. So that's not a problem. But when I do something such as the accelerating test, that becomes a problem. And I'll show you why. Let me zoom in on the pressure gauge so you can see what's happening on the accelerating test. Now I'll start that test and you watch what the gauge does as the different speeds come up. See, right now it holds steady. But then, as you accelerate, that pressure drops. See that? See that fluctuation? That does not provide you with a valid test. That pressure must stay the same. Your pressure on your vehicle, your fuel injection pressure, it stays stable. It does not fluctuate like that. So it's hard to get a actual accurate number that way, and it does that on any of the tests that you have a change in pulse widths. Like right here is the shifting speed test, and the pressure is good to stay stable on this lower speed, but then when you go to the medium speed and the higher speed, the pressure drops off during the test. See that? Now it drops way off on the high speed part of the accelerating test. Well, you're not getting an accurate test that way. You can't have the pressures dropping like that. Your pressure, in your automotive vehicle, if your pressure's dropping off like that as you accelerate, then you have a problem with your fuel pump. And it does that on each one of the varying pulse width tests. Instead of a steady state, if you have any of the accelerating, shifting test, or anything that you vary the pulse with, that pressure drops all over the place. You can't have that. That's the big complaint that I have. And in order to fix that, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to purchase a bypass type regulator, what's called a bypass, constant flow bypass type regulator. What it does is the entire time the pump is running, it is bypassing some fluid back to tank. And then, but it's whatever pressure you set it at, say you set it at 3 bar, it will stay at 3 bar even when you have the acceleration tests. It won't fluctuate. But this unit doesn't have any sort of feedback to do that. So when you have an increase in flow, you have a drop in pressure. So I can't get an accurate test doing it this way. So that's the main problems that I had with this unit. And I just thought it might be a little bit easier to show you a video of what was actually happening. And get back to me when you can.